This is Kardec Radio for Teens. Important life-changing events as seen through the Spiritist perspective. Now it's time for real-life dilemmas experienced by teens themselves. The Diaries of Belinda and Alex with Carol Correa.
Hello, dear friends. It is an honor to be with you once again. This week we are going to explore a very special turning point in Belinda's life. We are going to explore her experiences within the heart of her own very family. We are going to look at specifically her perceptions of who her parents are and what roles they play in her life and what roles other parents may play in their children's lives. Have you ever asked yourself why you have been given a specific family nuclei? Why is it at times that your father or mother may act differently from what you expect? Have you ever felt like a fish out of the water within your family dynamics? If so, you have a lot in common with our dear Belinda. So let us hear her own experiences within her own voice so that we can feel her emotions and try to unpack her feelings in a very thoughtful way with the help of our beautiful Spiritist philosophy. So let us invite our dear Belinda to join us. Dear Diary, oh my goodness, what a surprising day. This morning I woke up thinking about whether or not I would have the courage to invite my peers, my colleagues, my friends from the university to come home and visit with my parents. I mean, don't get me wrong, dear Diary, I absolutely love my parents, but I kind of don't feel like I belong here. What a tricky situation. I really don't know what to do. I mean, how am I supposed to tell my parents and my friends that we live in a community in the middle of nowhere with absolutely no resources and be proud of it? How do I bring my friends who are from well-to-do families to such a humble and simple home? How do I explain my origins to them? I mean, up to now, dear Diary, I haven't had the courage to really tell them who I am. Every time they, ask if we could hold a study group in my home, I just come up with some excuse and whatever, push it aside and hope that the issue will never come up again. But this time, a very dear friend of mine, Alex, the dear friend who I kind of have a crush on, but yay, keep it a secret, dear Diary. I haven't told anybody. So, that guy that I have a little crush on, he invited me to come to his home, and then he said he wants to drop me off afterwards, but how? How am I going to let him know where I live? If he finds out where I live, he's going to think I'm a fraud. I don't know what to do, dear Diary. What do you think I should do? What a mystery. Oh, goodness. I guess I've said too much already, dear Diary. I'll let you know what I come up with. Bye. So, dear friends, as you can hear in Belinda's beautiful voice, she's filled with contradictory emotions because she's trying to tackle her identity as a doctor-to-be and at the same time deal with her humble origins. As we know, dear Diary, or dear friends, our Spiritist philosophy shows us that nothing happens by chance, that the very family nuclei that was given to us was picked by the mentors, by the sweet loving mentors who guide us very, very carefully designed with divine intentions to help us blossom as much as possible. So the family is like the soil that receives all of the care and all of the nutrients necessary to nourish our souls and to help us develop the qualities that we ourselves have determined we need to develop. So as immortal spirits, dear friends, we know we didn't come back to earth in this new and beautiful reincarnation on vacation. We didn't come to have all of our desires fulfilled at once, because that would be contrary to moral progress. In order for us to progress, dear friends, according to the illuminated spirits, we need that extra gentle push that pushes us out of our comfort zone so that we can test new beliefs, new ideas, rehearse or practice new behaviors that are more in alignment with the divine consciousness which lies latent within our hearts. Isn't it beautiful, dear friends, that even the situations which we find most challenging are tailor-made by divine providence to push us out of our comfort zone so that we can blossom more beautiful towards our spiritual reality in order to fulfill our potential as immortal spirits? So what do you believe, dear friends, our beautiful Belinda may learn from this dilemma? Well, maybe she may learn that what one carries inside their heart is much more meaningful and immortal, eternal, than physical appearances or the values that society may hold on a temporary basis. If we look throughout the major periods of history, for example, practices that were considered acceptable are no longer acceptable. For example, there was a time where women were not allowed to work, were not expected to work or receive an education. There was a time on this beautiful earth when those who were physically challenged were not allowed to receive an education either. And there was a time on this beautiful earth when we were judged by the color of our skin. So we notice, dear friends, that as we evolve as immortal spirits, our values also change. Our great educator, Allan Kardec, shows to us that is true in the second part of the Spirit's book, where he beautifully describes the universal laws to which we all abide. Why is it then that societal laws may be, or expectations may at times be different from the expectations of the divine in us? Because we are still progressing. So it's natural, dear friends, that we experience dilemmas of this nature, that we have trouble navigating our spiritual in-between, our spiritual values and the values of the society around us. So what can we do when we face a dilemma of this nature? Well, dear friends, our spirit mentors propose to us through the books of our dear André Luiz, or through the books of Emmanuel, psychographed by Chico Xavier, that we learn to wear glasses with a bifocal lenses. What does that mean exactly? That means that in order to be able to act as immortal spirits in a physical world, we need to constantly look at this world from two different perspectives. The perspective of a temporary personality who needs to abide by certain values in order to live and progress within the society, but without losing sight of our higher self, our higher potential, the divine within us. So let us stop and reflect for a moment. If our dear Belinda begins to look at herself as an immortal spirit, and if she stops to consider the fact that her life is by no chance random, but rather beautifully designed by mentors who have nothing but love for her, she will then realize that her parents and her current social status have a lot to impart upon her. Her parents have taught her unconditional love, since they did not really have to raise her. They were not biologically bound to her, but they instead chose to embrace her out of pure love. And in spite of their at times limited financial means, they never lacked love and attention towards her. So as you can see, dear listeners, the mentors have most definitely planned a beautiful reincarnatory plan for Belinda, where though she may lack the status that most consider desirable, she is rich in the treasures of the heart. So we hope that Belinda, as she explores this new dilemma emerging from her heart, remembers to take the shift or to wear her bifocal spiritual material glasses, so that she learns to realize, or rather, she gives herself the opportunity to realize how rich she is in spiritual values, and how giving and loving her parents truly are. And for that reason alone, she is more than prepared to share more of her life openly with those whom she trusts, because those whom she trusts are most likely also part of her reincarnatory plan and love her for who she is. So let us open our hearts, dear friends, for the gift of love in whatever shape that it may appear before us. Let us push aside the conditionings or the habits that our society at times allows us to, or encourages us to take into consideration. And let us focus on the spiritual gifts, immortal, eternal gifts that were given to us. Let us thank our divine, beautiful, loving mentors for everyone who has ever expressed compassion, understanding, kindness, joy, love, hope towards us. Let us pray in gratitude for all of those who recognize us and accept us for who we are. Let us pray so that the gifts of love and from love emerge from our hearts. Let us pray so that we can practice more acceptance rather than rejection. Let us pray so we have the courage to accept ourselves for whom we truly are, immortal spirits in progress. Let us pray in gratitude for the school on which we are enrolled, the beautiful school called Earth. Let us pray for our parents, dear listeners, those who have our eternal love and respect for having been the means of our reincarnation. Let us pray for the mentors who so kindly designed the most beautifully educational experiences for us. Let us thank the Creator, dear listener, for the challenges that come our way, because it is through those very challenges that we can learn to see our potentials from a spiritual point of view. Let us pray for the gift of knowledge, for the gift of understanding, for the gift of knowing that life is never ending. And let us pray for the gift of hope, so that we may continue to blossom from the inside out and welcome all of the experiences that were designed for our spiritual growth. So be it, dear friends. We now would like to share with you many, many beautiful blessings of gratitude. Please be certain that you are a beautiful instrument, divine in nature, that is helping we ourselves to grow, and that your very presence in the lives of those around you most definitely inspires others to grow as well. So once again, dear listener, thank you for the gift of you, and we wish you many, many beautiful, joyful blessings today and always.
This has been Kardec Radio for Teens. Thank you all for listening.